Betrayal is said to be like a knife to the heart. This is not because of the actual act, but most of the time, because of where it came from. It won't be betrayal if it comes from a stranger or a known enemy, but the fact that it comes from a close, trusted friend makes it more deadly than a nuclear weapon. Why do people betray those they love? In the Bible, there are several people whose acts of betrayal are second to none. And in this video, I will show you the best of them all, starting with the case of Cain and Abel. One of the saddest stories in the Bible is that of two brothers who should be the best of friends, but that wasn't the case. Cain became envious and gloomy when he saw that Abel's offering to God was accepted, while his was rejected. Even though God forewarned Cain of the horror that lurked at his door, Cain's desire for vengeance continued pulsating through his head. He had an idea that would end in a fatal betrayal. However, Cain extended a cordial invitation to his brother while hatching out his heinous plans. Genesis 4:8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. A thing as disgusting as betrayal always thrives in the shadow of jealousy, and if you think this was brutal, the next on my list will prove you wrong. Uriah the Hittite was one of King David's devoted soldiers, referred to as one of David's mighty men. David, who wasn't at war, ended up having an affair with Bathsheba, Uriah's wife, while Uriah was away risking his life on the battlefield for David. To make the resultant pregnancy appear to be Uriah's, David had Uriah return from war to be with his wife, understanding the consequences of his act. Then Uriah said, 2 Samuel 11:11, And Uriah said unto David, The ark, and Israel, and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab, and the servants of my lord, are encamped in open fields. Shall I then go into my house, to eat and to drink, and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing. Then David decided to go for plan B. 2 Samuel 11:14. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. 2 Samuel 11:15. And he wrote in the letter, saying, Set ye Uriah into the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. After plan B successfully worked, David was free to have Uriah's widow whenever he pleased, without raising any red flags. Truly, betrayal can be both strategically clever and ethically wrong. Could there be a more heartless act than this? The next act of betrayal on my list will shock you. One of the 12 sons that Abraham's grandson Jacob had was undoubtedly his favorite because he was the first to be born by his favorite wife. However, his favorite son, Joseph, foolishly told his brothers about his dreams, showing them that they would one day bend the knee in reverence for him. Joseph, who was later sent by their father to check on the welfare of his brothers while they were grazing their flocks as shepherds, met his sad fate at the hands of his jealous brothers. Genesis 37:18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to slay him. Genesis 37:19. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer comes. Genesis 37:20. Come now therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. For the brothers, wishing suddenly became scheming, as it would only take them a few more moments to securely lure him into their trap. They then grabbed him and tossed him into a waterless cistern, removing the multicolored cloth that distinguished him as their father's favorite. When it comes to narrowing down your sense of justice to a single compulsive target, envy is the smallest pair of blinders you can wear. It made no difference if Joseph was their biological brother, or if he had done nothing deserving of the evil done to him. At this point, eradicating him from their lives was all that mattered, and that was exactly what they did. They ended up selling him into slavery and lying to their father that he had been killed by a wild animal. Next is one of the greatest betrayals of all time. Judas Iscariot's name became so synonymous with betrayal that it is almost impossible to read about him in the Gospels without hearing anything like, who betrayed him, or who became a traitor, making him one of the most popular disciples of Jesus. We don't know exactly what drove Judas to betray Jesus, but we do know that he was a greedy man who agreed to turn on his Lord in exchange for 30 pieces of silver, which was exactly what the authorities wanted. He, however, made plans to guide people toward Jesus and provide a signal that would make it easier to sell off his master. Luke 22:47. And while he yet spake, behold a multitude, and he that was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them, and drew near to Jesus to kiss him. Luke 22:48. But Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss? Thus, Judas's kiss has become the quintessential metaphor for betrayal. Jesus' question in response said it all. And if you think this is the greatest betrayal of all time, then meet Judas' mentor, Satan. Among God's finest creatures was Satan, also known as Lucifer when he was an angel. The Bible refers to Lucifer's former status as a highly exalted angel, most likely holding the greatest rank among all angels. It also says that Lucifer was probably the most beautiful creature God had made, in addition to his extreme strength. Ezekiel 28:13. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created. Ezekiel 28:14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Ezekiel 28:15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created. However, Lucifer was not content with his position as God's favorite angel in heaven. Rather, he desired to become God. Hence, he plotted what could be considered the first hostile takeover of the universe to depose God and establish himself as its ruler. Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Isaiah 14:14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Satan's revolt against God was essentially motivated by his desire to take over God's role, as he was dissatisfied with his role as an angel. The Old Testament says that when God discovered Lucifer's scheme, he was taken from his honorable place and expelled from heaven. This is commonly referred to as Satan's fall from heaven, but it's probably more accurate to say that he was banished. It is incontestable that behind every betrayal is envy and jealousy. However, no one would envy or be jealous of another except they are insecure and lack self-confidence. If people could see their uniqueness, there wouldn't be room for envy and jealousy leading to betrayal. Have you been betrayed before? Leave your answers in the comments, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Till next time, thanks for watching.